There have been some amazing games the past couple years, but one of them has been better than all the rest, and that game, for me anyway, is Cuphead. In a time of the big money game and a AAA money suckle, Cuphead stands above the rest for its emphasis on just being an amazing video game. Do yourself a favor and push aside all the bad stuff in gaming, the greed and the controversies. Cuphead is a game for gamers and it won't have any of that. The absolutely beautiful artistry of Cuphead is quite possibly the equivalent of a modern-day Mona Lisa, a dazzling recreation of hand-drawn animations and classic pop cartoons from the 1930s. Alongside Transistor, I think Cuphead is just the best-looking indie game I've ever seen. It's a work of art that has to be seen in motion to be appreciated. Every detail of Cuphead, from the rubber hose-style animations to the colorful assets to the wonderful design of the bosses, is so impeccably done and bursting with personality. For all of its charm and magical art design though, Cuphead still delivers where it counts, gameplay. And it sure is very unique this day and age. In fact, Cuphead is a very rare game, a very short and simple single-player or couch co-op, run-and-gun indie game. There are very few elements to this video game, a small overworld with limited exploration, a handful of characters to meet and stages to complete, a shop with a few items to buy, and a very brief comic book-style narrative. Because of the simplicity, the presentation is clean and the intrusion kept to a minimum. That is, until of course you enter one of Cuphead's perilous stages. In a stark contrast to most easy video games, Cuphead opens up hard and only gets harder. There is no fluff with Cuphead, save for a very small tutorial to fill you in on the basics. The world you step into is a colorful rendition of historic, overworld-style 2D platformers. The small yet open composition of its three worlds are both enchanting and just smart game design. At no points in Cuphead do you feel like you're doing things for any reason other than to get better or enjoy the game, and that's a beautiful thing. Cuphead has 19 stages in addition to its regular levels with 2 difficulty modes. If you choose to play on simple mode, everything will just be easier, yet you will not be able to acquire boss souls to unlock the final world of the game. It's a successful design that allows both new players to jump in and have fun, while still pushing them to get better at the game so they can unlock the finale too. In total, you can spend 2, 5, 10, or maybe 20 hours getting through normal mode, all depending on your skill. Cuphead's bright and cute overworld is just a disguise though for its hellaciously difficult stages. Once inside, it's game on. Each level is basically a gauntlet, a test of patience and an endurance run all in one that will drive you absolutely mad the first time through each one. You will die so many times as a new player. Most stages are and will feel like train wrecks waiting to happen, but each death is a lesson in dodging or composure or restraint or timing. You learn from your mistakes, you get better the more you play, and the game makes you feel really good for it. Completing a stage is often a moment of celebration, especially when you're on that last tick of life. If you beat a level on normal, you earned it, and boy oh boy, you do feel it, and the highs are often much higher than other games. I find it very hard to find that sense of elation Cuphead brings to the table in other games. The elusive beauty behind Cuphead is that it actually sets you up for success while challenging you at the same time. For one, all distractions and game inputs have been made simple so that you may focus on the challenge of the game instead. You can dash, jump, shoot, and parry, and you have 2 weapons to switch between. That's pretty much it. This streamlined design allows players to quickly become one with the controls as there are so few. After a few hours, you begin to fully link up with the game and everything becomes second nature. You've overcome the mechanical challenge with your hands and now must focus on conquering everything the game has to throw at you. As a result, the game can increase the difficulty constantly, knowing that the challenge has been transferred to the reflex rather than the input. This is why Cuphead's difficulty never lets up. Cuphead knows that by the time you get to Honey Bottoms, you are prepared to deal with every challenge the game will throw at you. Projectiles, both static and homing, jumping on moving obstacles, color-coded timed explosives, multi-pattern enemy movements and attacks, off-screen surprise pop-ins by the boss herself, and exploiting windows to weapon swap for extra damage and parry for better positioning. It's an amazing boss fight that is truly frustrating, unique, and exhilarating all at the same time, but it's a fight that Cuphead has been training you for. Prior to Honey Bottoms, I think most players will likely run into walls in the form of Beppy the Clown and of course Grim Matchsticks. These 2 stages personify why Cuphead is so satisfying. Each of these levels are gauntlets that require specific timing and strategy. Grim's attack patterns and fireballs are so unpredictable that you need to be on point if you're going to make it out alive, and the damage this creepy-ass clown can shell out is absolutely ridiculous. But once you beat him, you feel like $1,000,000. The process of challenge, reward, and triumph that Cuphead provides is something I truly adore. But I feel like this is design that has been lost in time, like a ship that went out to sea and never came back. Short, simple, and challenging games are some of the riskiest games to make, especially when the market is making a transition away from them. It seems like it is no longer okay just to make a game that is going to be great these days, to be passionate about an idea for a game and pursue it. This industry is sailing to a place that is overwhelmed by an incessant need to acquire more money and capital, making a compelling video game often feels like it comes secondary. But Cuphead is a game that has done both. It's a masterpiece that has sold over 2 million units, and I hope it sells another 2 million this year. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. But before you go, do me a favor and comment down below with your favorite game and why. Just a quick update before I go. I kind of want to talk a little bit about my most recent video, Why Modern Video Games Suck. I got a lot of mixed opinions, and more flack than I thought I would get on that video, and I guess I was kind of expecting it. I make very controversial videos, and very often they can be loved or hated at the very same time by any number of people. I just want to say that I was simply highlighting just some of the negative trends of many of my favorite AAA games, not all of them. Of course, there are many amazing games like Dark Souls and others that are unique and hard and don't hold your hand too much, which was kind of the bread and butter of my argument. I wasn't trying to lump every game into that category, but when you only have 10 minutes or so to, get a point across, you just can't talk about everything. There's just no time for it. More importantly though, you do have to understand that when I exclude a talking point, it doesn't mean that it's not relevant to the conversation or it's not there. For instance, if I don't mention how unique Nier is, it doesn't mean it's not unique, it just means I couldn't fit it into the conversation. But I read your guys' comments, and I will agree with some of them. I stepped maybe a little too hard on the toes of the traditional AAA game, so next week I'm going to do a video on the great aspects of those same games to offer a counter-argument to my own video, and I'm working on that now, and I hope you look forward to that one, probably in about a week or two. However, I'm still proud of that video, and if you left me feedback, thank you very much. Okay, dudes, have a great day, and we'll see you on our next video in a few days.